So this is the hydrologic cycle. Now, first what happens is that the sun, heat from the sun causes water to evaporate, like here in evaporation, water goes to the clouds. And also transpiration happens when water from the plants goes up to the atmosphere. So that happens, transpiration. And then what happens here is condensation, which happens in the clouds. And then from there, the clouds let go of the water that's in the clouds through precipitation. Here is rain, but it can also happen through hail or snow. Okay. And then there's the precipitation. The precipitation on the land is taken up by the plants. Here is grass, and it goes through the runoff, which is on the surface, which runs off to the river, as shown there. Also, some of the precipitation, the water enters the grass and into the soil, which is infiltration when the water goes into the soil, and also percolation when the water moves through the soil. And then there's groundwater at the bottom of the soil, which is here. And then the cycle starts again. The hydrologic cycle. Carbon cycle. So where I'm going to start from is photosynthesis. So that's when the producers convert the carbon dioxide into sugars. And then what happens after is respiration, when it does the opposite. So the sugars are converted back into carbon dioxide. Here. Now when that happens, some of the carbon can be buried through burial. So it's buried right here. And then some of it can be buried through sedimentation. So what happens, we end up having some fossil fuels at the bottom of the soil, but then humans end up doing extraction of the fossil fuels, so it goes back into the Earth's surface. And then what happens after is that the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and the carbon dioxide that's dissolved in the water are exchanged. And then after combustion causes fossil fuels and plant materials to turn into carbon dioxide. And yeah, that also happens because of deforestation or burning of forests. And that's the carbon cycle. So this is the nitrogen cycle. So first what happens is nitrogen fixation. So what this does, it converts nitrogen from the atmosphere. And the biotic processes convert it into ammonium. So this biotic. And abiotic converts it to nitrate. Okay, so assimilation. So the producers take up either ammonium or nitrate, and then the consumers get the nitrogen by eating the producers, like so. So it happens right here. Then it's ammonification, which is right here. The decomposer, so let's say this little cow right here, he dies and he decomposes into soil. So that, dead cow and the water, so the decomposer in the water breaks down nitrogen into ammonium. So nitrification, which is right here, it converts the nitrifying bacteria, which is right here, it converts the ammonium into nitrite and then into nitrate. Now the last step is denitrification. So what happens here is nitrate is converted into nitrous oxide and then eventually into nitrogen gas. And that's the nitrogen cycle. Now this is the phosphorus cycle. So first what happens is the weathering of uplifted rocks contributes phosphates to the land. Some of the phosphates go to the ocean. Now second, some of the fertilizers that are applied to the fields end up reaching the streams because of runoff. and that becomes part of a pool that's like a soil, and it ends up being absorbed by plants. After, the excretion by animals and decomposition of animals and plants or other organisms release phosphates on the land, like on the grass, the plants and stuff like that, or in the water. Now next, the phosphates that are already dissolved precipitate out of the solution and contribute to the ocean sediments. The conversion of sediments into phosphate rocks is a very slow process. Now lastly, geologic forces slowly lift up the phosphate rocks from the ocean to form mountains on the surface of the earth. Now that was the phosphorus cycle.